Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Friday, September 8th. And obviously the big story, if we step out of the way, is Hurricane Irma. You can see now making its way just coming into the just to the north of the western or eastern portions of Cuba. And as it continues to move off to the west northwest, we expect it to make a turn. You can see the National Hurricane Center brings on a landfalling hurricane just to the west of Miami as a Category 4. I think that there's a really good shot when it begins to make this turn. I think with the dynamics of very warm waters out here, I think we have a good chance of seeing this becoming a very significant Category 5 as it makes landfall. We'll wait and see what happens. We'll see if I'm wrong or not. But again, watch and remember these pressure readings and this wind speeds, and we'll see how well I do or how badly I fail. But again, this is a very, very serious storm that's going to be hitting. I'm really concerned about Miami and Fort Lauderdale, all the way up to Melbourne and even a little farther north. And again, the good news is this is going to be good news for Georgia and the Carolinas. Anything that comes out of there will maybe be a rain producer, but certainly much less intense. But again, if it takes a farther west curve, and it still could go either side, you can see, but the cone has tightened up a lot. But the best chance, if we're going to err, again, it would probably be closer to one or the other coast, which would be a little bit more bad news for the coastal areas. But again, right now, Miami, I don't see how you're getting out of this without some serious issues, and especially the Keys as well. So we'll continue to follow this right on through the next couple of days. And again, the extended outlook, we may begin to warm up, but we're going to have to wait for this hurricane to get completely out of the way. And then I think we'll get rid of this blocky pattern that currently is in place. But on the good news for here, us in the Great Lakes with the block in place, we're going to be under a lot of nice sunshine here right on through next Thursday. Little, if any, rain outside of maybe a little bit this morning is expected over the next 7 days. So very, very dry conditions are going to continue. You can see a little bit cleaner looking map of the storm and where we expect to go. Hurricane warnings out for the southern part, and hurricane watches extend further north. Also hurricane warning actually around Lake Okeechobee. Again, that's another area that could be severely affected. Okeechobee in that area, that could be a very deadly situation for you folks as well. And if we look at the satellite, you can see our storm churning its way now, getting ready to move just overhead of the eastern portions of Cuba. And again, it's really coming into some very warm waters. At the very least, it's going to hold its own, but I really think when it begins to make that turn to the north, I think that's when we are going to see an intensification back to a Category 5 storm. That's my forecast. We'll see what happens. If we look at the satellite or the radar closer to home, again, this will be the last of the Mohicans. This will be the last of the showers, and then we expect very dry conditions with lots of sunshine. It's going to be a fantastic weekend out there, and then again, much of next week, it's going to be sun-filled skies with temperatures pretty much in the low to mid-70s most all week. And if we look at the growing degree days from the 50% plant date at different locations, you can see we've made a little bit turn to the cool, but we're still in pretty good shape at all the locations. And if we look at Breckenridge as well, just a little bit below normal, but pretty close. And again, you can see this was last year. This was the 2015. And so 2017 is kind of between those 2 years, close to normal, so not too bad. Same with Brown City, again, not too bad as well there. And if we look at Clarksville, again, pretty close to normal. And if we look at Newaygo, again, not too bad, although they're a little bit short on growing degree days, but they always are. Generally a little bit shorter day corn up in that area from there off to the north. And if we look at the temperatures around the area this morning, you can see temperatures mainly in the mid to upper 40s, so not too bad, getting typical fall weather already. You can see everyone got rain over the last 24 hours, with the exception of Middleton. I'm kind of wondering if their rain gauge might not be plugged up. It's hard to believe with the consistent of the rain showers. Maybe they just got a trace amount. We'll check with them to see if maybe that's not plugged. Lansing picked up 3/4 of an inch, and many areas picking up around 1/10 of an inch or more. Over in Ontario, 1/2 inch at London, almost 3/10 at St. Thomas. And again, so most areas seeing at least a little bit of rain. We'll take whatever we can get, as we don't expect any here for quite some time. On the weather map this morning, you can see the last of that low pressure system's moving off to the area. This high pressure system will bring us cool nights the next few nights, with lows getting down well down into the 40s. The colder spots across north central lower Michigan, maybe dropping into the mid to upper 30s. Could be a little frost up near Harrison, Everett, or towards Marion, Luther, in those areas. Certainly much cooler there. But again, these high pressure systems will eventually move off to the east. Not so much for Saturday. Saturday looks like we'll still be in the 60s, maybe a 70-degree temperature across the southwest part of the state. But as we get into Sunday, we expect that high pressure system now off to our east. The next system will be moving well off to our northwest, so it won't have really any effect of us as far as precipitation. But what it will help to do is this front slowly moves this way. It's going to help to draw our winds out of the south-southwest, and that will allow us to get into the 70s once we get into Sunday. From there right on through next week with some great weather ahead. How much precipitation? This would be mainly this morning, and really a tenth of an inch or less, but mainly trace amounts if we're going to see any. And this was back as of the 0Z run. So much of this, if it has fallen, is already done so. But we expect very little in the way of precipitation across much of the Great Lakes here over the next 7 days. You can see the forecast highs today is in the 60s, maybe a touch warmer as we get into Saturday, mid-60s, around 70 degrees once we get into Sunday. Monday and Tuesday look fantastic with sunshine, highs in the mid-70s, and the same for Wednesday and Thursday as well. And again, our big story will continue to follow the hurricane right on through the weekend. Thanks for stopping by, and have yourself a great day, a great weekend, and 73s to all.